Alright folks, Nathan from KBL Texas Homestead, and thank you for clicking on today's video. If you haven't already, please make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. That way you can be alerted every time we drop a new video, and you can keep up to date with us on the homestead. So today's goal is running hot wire through the perimeter of the property. Now we have field fencing that goes through the property on the front and the two sides, but the back of the property does not have any fencing. So we are running some hot wire on the existing fencing, and then as well as running a 5-wire strand with one bob wire on the top and the back of the property to help us keep our cows in. Now, the neighboring property was purchased not too long ago, and they started clearing and entering and exiting the property, and we are going to fence it up. That way they can come and go as they please and not disturb our cows, and we'll keep our cows on our property. So come along with us as we show you how we do things on the homestead. Alright folks, so here's some of the hot wire that we got ran today. Again, this is just a quick temporarily temporary fix. We're doing this temporarily to allow the cows to get back here to this back pasture and the goat, and start working away at some of this while I do some more clearing elsewhere in the front of the property. But here's a big old tree that I found as a good base. I've connected some hot wire and some bobbed wire all the way through the woods down this path, and just using the trees that were here that I didn't cut down. So as I was clearing, I tried to leave trees through the right side of my property, and I was going to use them for this purpose. So we can walk down here and have a look. See, so I've got these trees here that are just standing. They're actually good trees. Actually, they're not good trees. They're just good tallow trees. They're trash trees, but they were good for fence posts. Now that's a good tree right there. That's a good old oak tree. But what I did is just put this fence up. So I've got a strand of barbed wire across the top. I've got a hot wire right here. Then I've got just a straight wire that is not going to be hot. Then I've got another hot wire down here. So today I've got to jump from here to get hot wire to hot wire. That way I can make sure those are energized, and that'll keep the cows out. The top row for barbed wire is just precaution. I may come and put another strand of barbed wire in these low spots right here where this is actually kind of high. I've got a big gap here, so I might run another strand of barbed wire from tree to tree, help seal that off. And as the same over here, though it's so thick, I don't think with the hot wire the cows will respect it. They don't mess with it. They know it's there, and so they leave it alone. But I've got a new little bull on the property I'm helping a buddy out with. He's keeping them over here, getting them weaned off from the mama, so he's not accustomed to the hot wire just yet. He's getting there, but not yet. So that's why I'm going the extra measures to make sure it's secure. But we're going to focus on creating some jumpers. And what I mean by jumpers is what I have right here. So as you can see, this is an insulator, and I've got a wire tied to this tree, and then the hot wire ties to the opposite side of that insulator, so these two wires don't touch. And because if this wire was hot, this tree would ground it and it wouldn't work. So that's why you have the insulators. And I've got two insulators, one there and one there, to continue the hot wire. Then I've got this jumper that is not touching the tree, but it comes from this hot around to this hot, and it's not touching the tree. I have a gap. See if I can show you there. There is a gap in between here, and it's not energized yet, but I do have a gap, and I'm gonna continue some of those. I also need to create a jumper from this wire up to this wire. So for this, you're gonna need some scrap wire, and I say scrap, just any wire you have laying around works perfect for this. Unfortunately, I didn't have no scrap, so I had to cut some of my good hot wire to use, and a couple of insulators, and I'll show you what I do. I just take enough to go around the tree. How much, or whatever you're going around. I'm going around this post that I buried out of a tree. I'm going to take about yay much, and I'm going to nip it. I'll fold it in half, and then wrap it around the tree where I want to go. Now in this instance, it's going to be touching this wire, but this don't matter because this is not hot. So I will go around here, twist this two wires together, like so. Roll the twist to the back end of the fence. Take your insulator, and you see it's got two grooves. It's got a groove on this side and it's got a groove on this side. That's to keep the wires from touching each other. So slide one section of that in here and then twist it. As you get it tight enough, it'll stay in place and you can tie your hots to it. anything you do, you want to test it to make sure it's functioning. So the work is done, or we think it's done. Let's test it and make sure that everything is hot that needs to be hot, and what is not is not. So this here is just a little multi-light tester. It gives you measurements from 600 up to 5500 for the amount of power or shock power this is putting out. So let's hook this up and give it a try. See what we got. So you want to put your ground in the ground first. Don't ask me how I know that, but put the ground in the ground first, then hook up to the hot. Shade it so you can see the light.